Honor Health hospitals will install advanced radiation protection shields at all of its interventional cardiovascular operating labs. The announcement comes a week ahead of a documentary that will air nationwide on PBS. The film illustrates efforts to reduce radiation exposure to doctors, nurses, and technicians. It's co-produced by Dr. David Reisig. He's a cardiologist and research director with Honor Health Research Institute. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Hey, let's talk about the shields first. Why are they such a big deal? How will they work?
Yeah, they are a big deal because for the last 30 or 40 years, there's been an increase in the number of cardiac surgeries or cardiac procedures that use what we call fluoroscopy or real-time X-ray. In fact, today, many, if not most, of the cardiac procedures that we use, that we perform, utilize X-ray. And we have historically worn a lead apron, but that lead apron really covers only from about your clavicle to just above your knee. So doctors, nurses, and technicians who perform these procedures are exposed to radiation, to ionizing radiation or X-ray. Their head, their neck, their face, their arms, and their legs are not covered by these lead aprons, and there is day-long radiation exposure. And if you multiply that by 20 or 30 years that you've been doing these procedures, you can see that that radiation exposure adds up. We face things like a higher rate of cancer. We face glaucoma and a number of other potential radiation-induced injuries. And the lead apron we wear is 20 pounds and can be associated with orthopedic injury over a long period of time.
So it's a 20-pound thing that you're lugging around, and when you're talking about orthopedics, you're talking knees and hips and
spine.
Okay.
Right.
So the new shield, how is that different from the apron?
The new shield is something that you don't have to wear. It is a shield that envelops the source of the X-ray and to some extent the patient, because some of the X-ray will go into the patient and then scatters and comes to the physician. So these new shields give better protection, and you don't have to wear the lead apron. So think about that. It reduces, our studies at Honor Health Research Institute have shown that we can reduce radiation exposure by greater than 99% and not have to wear the lead apron.
Why is this not commonplace everywhere?
You know, it's sort of been our dirty little secret, and it hasn't been a priority for state agencies and the federal government to mandate better radiation protection. I'm very pleased that the Honor Health leadership and Honor Health Research Institute has prioritized physician well-being, nurse well-being, the health of their doctors and nurses. And so we've really led the country, if not the world, in these studies at reducing radiation to the physician and nurses and getting the lead off our back. We have a mantra, we say, shed the lead.
You mentioned the physical benefits. What about the mental health benefits?
Oh, it's incredible, the potential upside in terms of mental health. Wearing a heavy lead apron all day long is cumbersome. There's another piece to this other than the orthopedic issues and the radiation exposure to the brain and the face, and that is there are many young women who would like to go into interventional cardiology. And there are published studies that show that women may choose against a profession that they aspire to be a part of because of radiation concerns during the childbearing years. Many more men have gone into interventional cardiology, including in recent years. And so we're hoping that this dramatic, greater than 99% reduction in radiation exposure will encourage women to go into this field and tear down any potential perceived barriers.
What are you hearing from people who know these are coming?
People love this. Now, you have to demonstrate for people the ease of use of these devices, but this is a growing trend around the country, and 6 states around the country have used the data that we generated at the Honor Health Research Institute to allow physicians to go into the cardiac catheterization suite without wearing that cumbersome lead apron. So we've not only tried to lead the way here in Arizona, but our science, our data, which has been published, is being used by other states.
And people can learn more about this because you are not only a cardiologist, but you're a co-producer. So talk about this documentary. Tell us what this is about, what viewers can expect.
Scattered Denial was a year-long personal journey, a journey of discovery for me to go around the country and meet with individuals who've been affected by radiation toxicity or orthopedic injury. One physician I met in Cincinnati, he had a severe spinal injury and was actually paralyzed for a time. A family that I met with in Alabama, their family member, a world famous cardiologist, sustained a brain tumor and died from that brain tumor in only a year's time. And there's many more stories like this. So I've met with men and women around the country who've either had injury due to ionizing radiation in the cath lab, who've had orthopedic injury as a result of the burdensome lead apron, but also I've met with a number of women who are leading the charge in this regard and trying to get this to be standard barrier in the cath lab so that more women can go into this field.
Dr. Reisig, thank you so much. We're out of time, but the documentary airs Tuesday, September 10th, 9 p.m. on Arizona PBS. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.